Okay, this one is going to be a quick one because I want to leave it as few spoilers as possible because I went into this movie totally blind. I didn't know who the cast was. I didn't know a thing about the plot. All I knew is that on Redbox it said directed by Edger Wright. So, I don't want to give away any plot or character details at all. But you know what one of the more interesting things is about going into a movie completely blind? Is you can come up across pleasant surprises, such as my favorite actress of all time, Diana Rigg. This is her last movie. And it's a good one to go out on. Up until now, Dune was my favorite movie of 2021, but I have to say, this replaced it. It's an original story. It's not fully original elements, of course, because there is no such thing as a story made up of 100% original elements, but it's got terrific acting and a story that kept me guessing. And I don't know how else to recommend this to people other than to say that the storyline kept me guessing, and I thought I had it figured out because I'm used to watching these types of thrillers, but if you go in knowing nothing about this movie, you won't see a couple of the twists coming. And I thought I had seen the final big twist, and then there was another twist, and they all work and they all make sense with what you've seen. A lot of movies nowadays, they cheat but this one doesn't. This movie has elements of Vertigo, Girl with Gold Boots, and I'd say little bits of Inception and maybe The Sixth Sense in it, and it all comes together in a perfectly directed and edited package, which you shouldn't be surprised about since it is Edgar Wright. It also does something that I love, which is I have an equal love for the glitz and glamour of classic Hollywood in decades past and the seedy underbelly. And this is a tale that tells about both sides of that, and it pays equal attention to both of them. And yeah, and other than our protagonist, there are no real heroes. It's a much more complex tale than that, and that's what made and it honestly kept me guessing, and it was definitely the best directed movie of 2021. I really wish I had seen this in theaters because it really seems to be designed to be an experience that you have with, being dominated by a large screen and huge and the soundscape. But as it stands, watching it at home was also extremely enjoyable. And yeah, and it's actually a good movie to watch with other people because the way the movie is set up, you're given bits and pieces of clues of what's going on, and you get to bounce ideas off each other, and that turned out to add to the overall enjoyment of this film. So yeah, if you want to see one really good movie that'll keep you guessing, but here's the thing: it starts out light, and I thought it might turn into a chick flick, but it didn't. It turned into a very intense movie. This movie may be too intense for some people out there. I definitely know people in my life who wouldn't be able to take all the twists and the way the intensity of this film just keeps ratcheting up and up and up and up until a cathartic climax. But so yeah, if you have a low tolerance for movies where the character has to question their own sanity, stuff like Hamlet or Vertigo or such like that, you probably don't want to watch this. But I will say the lead actress, I want to see her in more stuff. she has a quality to her that perfectly fits in with this movie, where she fits in and she feels like a lost actress from the 1960s, and I mean that in the best way. She has like this sort of glamour and charm about her, and this easygoingness that is lacking in so many actresses and their performances, that just causes you to ride along. In fact, myself and the people I watched this with, for the first 5 minutes, until a modern car pulled up, we were convinced that this movie was a period piece set in the 1960s, because she just seemed to step out. Everything about her seemed to be taken out of the 1960s, and she feels almost out of time with this. Matt Smith, he's very well utilized in this. He's in this movie, and they utilize the fact that he can either play the nicest or the nastiest person you've ever met. He's able to play both ends of that extreme spectrum, and they utilize both of them in his character. Terrence Stamp is in this, which he's always great. And then, the big surprise for me was when I was watching the opening credits, and it credited Diana Rigg, who is sadly no longer with us, but is my favorite actress of all time. And she has a great part to go out on. If this is the last film released that she shot anything of, and this is the last thing that she gets credited for, it is a very good thing to go out on. And it's a great tribute to her abilities as an actress in this movie. But everyone across the board is great. And yeah, this is just, I hope I've sold you on this in this spoiler-free review, and you don't feel, and I'm sorry if this review feels like it's wasting your time, because I'm not saying anything, but again, I got so much enjoyment out of this movie just by watching it without even knowing what the premise of the movie was. So, but I'll tell you that it's some sort of supernatural thriller, and it has elements of, it kind of has elements of time. It kind of has elements of looking back on the past and seeing both the glamour and the ugliness. It is an extremely well-made film, and it is my pick for a favorite movie of 2021 now. Dune has now dropped down to number 2. Then you have Ghostbusters Afterlife at number 3. But yeah, this knocked those down, and so you won't regret seeing this film. So give it a shot. Last Night in Soho is another great film that Edgar Wright can add to his filmography, and it's a great swan song for Diana Rigg. So